Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks. I did a video on this exact same photograph a couple of weeks ago, and I eliminated the water tower and the windmill and the railroad tracks. And now the gentleman wants that back in there, but not all of the railroad tracks, because if you see, this picture has some writing on it. So I thought I'd just kind of do it from start and show you how I would do it. And he's evidently ran this through a program like Photograve to digitize it, which is nice. But I thought I'd just help. He's lost the windmill, and that's basically just background. And he's done a really good job other than that. But what I'm going to do is, it's less than 4 inches. I'm going to set my nudge distance on 4, and I'm going to make a duplicate of that and move it over. I am going to take this one and go to bitmap, outline, or clip art and convert it to a grayscale. I just think it helps, but we want this original building. So I'm going to make a duplicate of that and nudge it over because we want it in grayscale to run it into a photo program. We really don't need this. I'm going to just use this for reference. But now I need to convert it and trace it as a bitmap, outline, trace, clip art. And the more detail you get, the better. So when this finishes, it's only on 79%. I'm going to up it all the way to 100 and see it actually added a line in there, but we can get rid of that. So there's our bitmap copy. And one, we're going to look at it under wireframe and just see what it looks like. View wireframe, and there's that line. So we're immediately going to get rid of that line. We're going to go to object and group and ungroup it. And we're going to take the virtual segment delete key and delete that line. It won't really affect us too much. But what we can do to make sure we get it all is hit it with the shape tool and take that line and hit delete. Evidently there's another, I hit the wrong node. Let's zoom in here. Yep, there's the node we need. So I'm going to take the shape tool and hit delete. That should delete that line. Take it a little bit. Now we're going to delete that node. So we've got rid of the line. Now let's go back to enhanced view. And we've already broken apart. So we're going to get, we can get rid of that. And there's some garbage all through here. And we're going to work on both sides. But what we're going to do, we want to get rid of this stuff on this side of this car. Now this looks like not very good, but we're just using it for this. And because it's ungrouped, we can use the boundary tool and put a boundary around it. Now we need to do a couple of things. We need to fill in all the spots, and I'm going to get rid of that little bit of a part we don't need. And we're going to go to the outside with it just a second. So we're going to take a 2-point line, and I'm going to go from there to there. And then I'm going to take the virtual segment delete key because we're going to do the outside of this contour. Now we need to make sure we fill in all the gaps. And I'm going to take the 2-point line, and I'm just going to go from right there to right there. And see it's filled in those gaps. I can actually delete that line. And you'll see in just a second that we're going to use the Smart Fill tool just to get the shell of the building shape. Those inner ones don't really matter or count. We need to do the same thing here with the roof. And you could, do as much or as little as you want. I'm just going to go from like right there to right there. It might change the building a little bit. This is the chimney of this building. So we're just going to leave it. I'm going to go down here. And it doesn't matter if I go to the center or go too far. Now we're going to take the 2-point line again and go from like right there to right there. I'm going to go in. Don't need to worry about deleting these because they're on the inside. If it's on the outside, just a little bit. Now we need to fill in that gap. So what we're doing, we're filling it in. So when we do use the Smart Fill tool, and I'd go in at this time, take my shape tool and delete those nodes. Now, maybe even delete them some more. Now the windmill, is kind of messed up. But if we take the 3-point line, curve line, and go from like right there to right there, and then put a curve to this, don't worry about it too much because you can grab the shape tool and then individually move the handle. So we want to kind of get a round shape of the windmill. So anything on the outside, I want to delete. And also, we could probably make it look a little bit better by taking a 2-point line and going straight down right there and then maybe over. That way we can delete this line. And you could go through and straighten up a bunch. This is more or less a shadow. So we're going to get the 2-point line and just, kind of fill in that shadow, get the virtual segment delete key and delete those. Then you could play around with these other things and you could go back and forth to your picture. We're just going to make it simple right now and just go right there. So anything on the inside is going to be fine. Now, I want to clean up this bottom and get it to be flat. So we're going to grab the shape tool, grab our item, look at all the nodes. And I'm going to delete all these inner nodes. Delete that node, maybe delete that node, maybe move that node over. I'm actually going to delete all those nodes. And then if we select these 2 nodes, we can right click the mouse and turn it into a line. Now, we basically want to get rid of that writing. So we can move that up past that writing and we're good to go. Now what I would do is take a rectangle and use this. I'm going to actually get rid of that outside line. Whoop. That shouldn't really affect us, but there we go. I don't like it. And that's why it would not delete. So go out here, virtual segment delete key, those 2 lines. So now we're going to get the Smart Fill tool and fill this in. And we don't have anything blue on the inside, which is great. I'm going to nudge it over. And remember, I'm nudging the whole time and not moving. I'm going to get the Smart Fill tool this time and get it to a different color. Doesn't really matter, but I'm going to get that. Now we're going to take our original picture that is grayscale. Let me zoom in here. And just remember, we have not nudged anything. So we're going to take this green and we're going to nudge it over and up. So this time when we do this, it's going to get rid of everything that's outside the green. I'm going to select the whole thing and intersect it. And then you can move it and make it as big as you like. That's pretty sharp. All the background is gone. Let me delete all this stuff. If we bring in a yellow box, and then he can take this picture, and because it's a grayscale, he can run it through like PhotoGrave or some other Corel software. Now see what we did to the windmill? And you could actually even go further and, maybe delete some nodes and play around this to make the windmill look a little round. Because it's going to be blurry in the picture anyway, but it's still going to look like a windmill in the picture when you digitize it. And then save this photo at whatever size you're going to do. I would do that before I run it through PhotoGrave. Let's say you're going to make it 18 inches across and you're good to go. Then PhotoGrave that. And then I suggested after you PhotoGrave it, and I could do that, but I've already done it for him, and evidently he can do it. PhotoGrave's just going to digitize it. What I would do is make this thing is 18 inches. I'd make a nudge factor of 19, and I'd make a duplicate. And then I would, with this selected, I would crop out of the part of the picture that you would really think is important. And I'm going to crop out that right there. And then I would run this through your engraver. You're not going to waste any wood, and you're going to see if it works. Then if that worked and it looks good, then the whole building will engrave that good. Anyway, I hope that helped Tim a little bit. Thank you for watching.